Is going on, everybody? It's your boy Eddie Stylez, and today we are back at it with another episode of the Let's Talk Fitness podcast. I'm joined today by my superstar, phenomenal athlete, Katie Shields.
Hello.
Katie is joining me today. She is one of my athletes, and we're basically going to be doing a Q&A. We posted on our Instagram stories. We got some good questions. I actually have some questions of my own for Katie. And we're realistically just going to shoot the shit. Now, there's no script. We're just going to go and see where this episode takes us. So first, Katie, welcome to the podcast. Give the viewers a breakdown of who you are and who is Katie Shields.
So my name is Katie Shields. I am a physical therapist assistant by trade, I guess you could say. It's my full-time job. I am an online coach as well. So I do that more as my at-home kind of job, just working with clients, helping women with focusing on their lifestyle. I do try to put more focus on the mobility side of things and just strength training in general. And then I'm also one of Eddie's bodybuilders. I'm currently on track to compete as a bikini bodybuilder. TBD. Well, we know when, but no one else knows.
Keep it a secret, guys. Don't worry about that just yet.
But just know it's in the near future, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, so Katie signed up with me about 6 months ago, I would say, at this point, right?
Yeah, I think it was like end of September.
Yes. So around that time frame, and honestly, I'll say we hit the motherfucking ground running. Like, we got into it, and I'll let you describe your thought process first, as far as like, what was your initial mindset when kind of just signing up and working with me? Like, when you reached out, what was going through your head? What was the plan? Like, did you want to step on stage? Were you trying to get into a prep? Like, talk to me.
I think that like when I first started with you, I'm trying to think back to like in September, I was just like, honestly, I was a hot mess. Like, I was in the gym following like a program that I'd gotten online, which worked great for where I was at. Like, it was a weekly split for like an 8-week program. And it was doing the job, but I was really lacking that like accountability factor that I got kind of once I signed up with you. My nutrition was okay because at that time, remember when I started with you, I had like a nutritionist online kind of. So like I had someone kind of leading me in the right direction, but I was still messing around. I like did not take it seriously at all. And I kind of just hit the point where like I noticed that my lifestyle decisions were affecting my mental health, my physical health. They were affecting me at work. Like, it was just like this whole like slippery slope of all this stuff. And I would say too, like with the gym, I wasn't like locked in.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was once I like started, because I was at a different gym, and me and Phi, one of my buddies, we were there. Shout out to Phi, but we were at the other gym together, and I was kind of like messing around. And then I finally got into like a little bit of a rhythm with the gym and realized I hated it there. And I was like, you know what? I want to go somewhere where like we're around like-minded people and like it just like the vibes are better kind of thing. And then once we moved to TC was when I was really like, all right, like I'm around all these like a lot of like really good looking women, like people that really take this stuff seriously. Like I started meeting new people and I was just like, let's do it. Because I think I moved there in like July and then I started with you in like September. So I had a couple months to like try and kind of like turn things around, but it was still the same, still just lacking that accountability, still like drinking all the time. And like, I was just a mess.
You know what's crazy? Like, Training Center gives off such a hardcore and like intimidating vibe, and rightfully so, right? Because a lot of the people there, you look at them and they've been doing this shit for 5, 10, 15 years, right? Like, a lot of the people that go to Training Center, they're not new to this shit. They are true to this. And it's a vast range of a lot of, again, super advanced lifters, bodybuilders, powerlifters, strongman. We got a variety.
Yeah.
And it's a big mix. You're going to see a lot of newbies. You see some older people in there as well. So you get a good mix. And I think the stigma around Training Center, it's like, it is just this hardcore gym. It's like, yeah, it is. But that type of environment, it forces you to want to be better. It forces you to want to level up, right? Because you see people that are, holy shit, they're at that level. And it makes you think, wow, I want to get there, or how can I get there? And then you just force yourself into that environment and boom, you just start to thrive and grow. The amount of progress you've probably made, let's say in the last 6 months, just being in training center and surrounded by the people. Imagine, let's say you weren't there in training center, you did not have access to a support system and the people around you and just people who motivated you, right? It's a big difference, you know? So I feel like your environment definitely plays a role inside of the gym and outside of the gym as well, you know?
It really does. Because I mean, I look at myself, like, back in September, because obviously, like, life's changed too, like, because when I started with you, I was still working in the restaurant, I was still,
Mhm.
like which, like, anyone who's worked in the service industry knows that, like, motherfuckers are crazy. Like, they do not like, they will be at like, you get off at 1 a.m., you're at the bar drinking till 5 with your coworker. Like,
Mhm.
it's, like, insane, like, the lifestyle and, like luckily, I wasn't like that all the time, but I did, like, kinda get stuck in because I was close with my coworkers that were there too, and we all lived in walking distance to the bar, so we would, like
Mm.
it's like, we would get off, and then we would be drinking for 3 hours, and I'd be, like, stumbling my ass home, and it's just like, "Girl, what the fuck are you doing?" Like,
Yeah, yeah.
all together, and it was like I did end up kinda pulling myself out of that once we got more serious with this because I was like, "This environment love those people still." I'm still keep in touch with a lot of them and everything, but it's like, I'm looking to live a different lifestyle now. So it's like I kinda pulled myself out of that and really, like, surrounded myself with, like, our TC family, like, like, I got Schuler, I got Bree, I got Ev, I got, like, my girls, I got Lauren, like and just everyone that's there too, people I don't hang out with outside of the gym, like, everyone it's just, like it's so important to surround yourself with like-minded people. Like, if even before I really, like, officially was like, "Let's do bikini bodybuilding," it was like, "Okay, I really need to try and, like, focus my attention on spending time around people that are, like, kinda, like, want similar things to like, that I do in a way." And, like, not to say that people that I worked with there didn't have that mindset because, like, I can think of 2 people just off the top of my head that, like, go to the gym and, like, they're active, like, the bartender I used to always work with, like, he wasn't staying there all night. He was like, "I'm working and leaving." So, like,
Mhm.
not to say that that was necessarily the case, but it was like, I think what I needed at that time was to just completely remove myself from groups and situations that were just gonna kinda hold me back a little bit too, which is, like, hats off to TC because it's, like, the staff, the family that we have there, it's, like, I feel like I walk in there and it's, like, everyone's, like, happy to see you and,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, open arms.
an hour yapping before I actually start working out and, like,
Yeah, yeah,
social hour, and it's just, like, it's nice to have that for sure, especially and I agree with you too on the fact that it's, like, I was terrified to start at TC. I was like I literally told Fi, I was like, "Either we're going together or we're not going at all. Like,
yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
not going there by myself." I literally would not go to the gym without him the
That's
first, like,
crazy.
month we were there. I was like, "What time are you going?" Because he lives near me too, so we would just, like, carpool all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, set it up.
I was like, "I'm not going there without you." Like,
That's
I was
fucking
so scared, and
hilarious.
finally I, like, broke out of my shell a little bit and, like,
Oh,
would
look
go
at you now,
without.
girl. Look at you now.
I was like, "Oh my god." But then it's like you're there and, like, no one cares what you're doing. Like, everyone's focused on their own stuff. No one gives a crap. They're not looking at they're not really looking at you. They do, they're probably gonna smile and wave and carry on doing what they're doing anyways. It's
Mhm.
like it's so funny, like, the intimidation factor, and then you realize you're like, "Oh, this is
Nobody's
fine.
worried.
I'm
Nobody's there
safe."
worried about you. Yep.
Oh.
And you know what? I before I get back to that, you brought up a really good point saying that you didn't cut off the people at the bar, right? But you just switched up your I don't want to say preferences, but you switched up your environment, right? To put you in a position to thrive more. And where I just want to kind of hit that because that's such an important facet that people let their environment and peer pressure fuck up their routine, their goals. And it's like you don't have to cut people off. You don't have to stop being friends with somebody just because they're not as serious about their goals or maybe they don't have the same ambitions as you. You don't have to cut them off. However, you have to have that discipline to set yourself apart and be able to take that step back and not give into peer pressure and really fucking set that boundary, you know? So I feel like that was just a really, really good point you brought up. And that was like something I did not want to let slip through because I feel like that's so common with people. Their friend group going out every other weekend, drinking. It's like if you were in the gym, yeah, you can go out. I'm a fan of moderation, of course. But now if it's something to where it is actually bringing you down and allowing you to take steps back toward your fitness goals, then you really got to analyze, or not even just your fitness goals, but in life in general, then you really got to analyze what the hell you're doing,
Yeah.
because it can be a slippery slope, you know?
It really is, and, even, friends that, I have that I didn't, work with or something like that, I mean, I still have my friends that, they go out to, the hockey games, they're, going to concerts on the weekends drinking. They don't care that I'm not there. They're not worried about it. They still check in with me. My really close friend Emily, she texted me, a couple weeks ago, and she was like, "Why don't we just, hang out at your house? You can eat" she said, "You can eat your rabbit food, and I'll just, put it over." And I was she 'cause it's if you have people in your life that genuinely love and care about you, they're not gonna drop you because you're changing a lifestyle. And if they do, they weren't meant to be in your life,
Get them out of
truthfully.
here anyway. Yep.
Get them out because they don't support you then. If you I've really realized that moving into this, bodybuilding phase of, damn, I really know who, my true friends are. And mind you, I've made true friends in the process, but, I have my friends that, support, my social media. They're, texting me, they're reaching out, and it's, and the phone it is a both ways thing, I still try to reach out to them too, but, you're gonna find out when you start doing better for yourself who actually wants to see you do better, and
That's
it's gonna
facts.
be really obvious too.
That is facts.
Yeah.
It's crazy because, again, something like that can really just show you the true colors of people, you know? And sometimes it's needed. Like I said, some people will literally not support you and will not want to see you win. And it sucks, you know? It sucks.
Yeah.
But nah, that was a really good point. And another one was nobody's worried about you in the gym. Nobody is worried about you in the gym. It's crazy because that's such a big intimidating factor, and rightfully so, right? Especially more so from the women's perspective,
Yes.
rightfully so. It can be intimidating. Now, if you go into a gym, you stand and I would advise anybody to do this. Stand in the middle of the fucking gym. Look around, do a 360. See if you can make eye contact with anybody. You're probably not going to. If you do, it's probably just going to be a quick boom, boom, and then you're good. But nobody's going to be looking at you the entire time. Nobody's worried about you. You can literally fail. Schuler had said this one time. She was doing a bench press. She failed it, and she was calling somebody over, and nobody came over for 2-3 minutes. And it's listen, nobody. It's crazy, right? But I think that's another really good thing to where don't let that get in your head. Get in there, do what you gotta do, get the fuck out.
Yeah. And also on that, to go off of that too, last week, remember right before we were training that there was that girl at the gym, right? Don't be scared to ask for help either. If you're I could literally walk into the gym. Josh is like, a girl came up to me, asked me to help her with kickbacks. I don't really know what to tell her. I literally put my stuff down and I was like, where is she? like Beelined over there. And it's especially in a gym like TC, I feel like if you go up and ask for help, people aren't gonna be like, "Oh my god." People
Mhm.
want if people who are really into this stuff, we want to see other people succeed. So it's I think that's another thing to think about too is the gym can be scary and it can be intimidating, but it's important just to go and focus on your stuff. Ask for help if you need help, even if it's someone at that an employee. And then in that case, they'll go find someone to help you if they can't.
Mhm.
It's just that was something that really stuck with me. And it stuck with me too, thinking to myself, I'm like, this girl's clearly she's a little bit newer to the gym. I'm like, she's so brave for doing that. I would have never done that
It takes a
when I
lot.
first stepped in the gym. I would have been on YouTube for half an hour sitting by the cable, probably pissing people off because I was sitting there doing nothing, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important too, is just do what you need to do. Don't worry about everyone else.
And fucking training center needs to damn sponsor us for this damn video right here. We give them a lot of good talk right there. A lot of positive feedback. Yeah, training center, it's a really great gym. They're always constantly upgrading, I can't complain. I can't complain.
Yeah, when we get that glute extension little froggy
The
machine,
frog pump, right? The frog pump. That's gonna be fire. That's gonna be fire.
I'm gonna
I'm
run.
excited. You know what? I'm actually curious because they have the other, I think 6 new pieces that are supposed to be coming in, plus the frog. That one was a newly added one, I guess. So it's
Yeah.
7 pieces now. And I don't know where the hell they're gonna We're just
Yeah.
gonna wait and see. They're just gonna Tetris it and place the shit whenever they. But I'm excited. I'm excited. So switching gears a little bit, let's kind of go back a few years. Let's talk about your previous history with sports now. What was small Katie into? What was small Katie doing?
Oh my god, she was all over the place. So I rode horses pretty much my entire life. Um, my mom, shout out mom, one of the hardest working people I know. She was a show horse groom, so she literally just took care of show horse, like the competitive side of
That's
like show
insane.
jumping and stuff like that. She's been all over she lived in New Zealand, Switzerland. She went to the Barcelona Olympics working. Like she's been all over with that stuff. But so I kind of like grew up into that. And my poor parents literally tried to put me in every single sport other than that. One, because I think my dad was like, I don't like, he's like, this is dangerous. And then also,
Yeah.
because it's expensive. Like, when I grew up riding, I was, like, the bottom of the food chain, like, I was the groom's kid, like, I got literally had a bicycle. So let me backtrack a little bit. There's this big horse show in Florida. I'm originally from South Florida, but we would go to it's literally, like, October to April, it's a huge show, but my mom would be working, and she's like, "If you wanna ride, you're gonna have to kinda just like, you're gonna have to figure it out." She's like, "I want you to ride, but, like, I'm working, I can't, like, kinda cart you everywhere."
Hmm.
So we lived, like, right off the showground, so I literally had a bicycle, and I would ride my bike to the showgrounds and go to the first barn, ride, like, 3 or 4 ponies, go to the next I would literally
So
be
fun.
I would
That's
get
so
out of
funny.
school at, like, 3 o'clock and be like, I probably my mom literally I wouldn't get home till, like, 8 o'clock at night on my little bicycle because I was
That's
just covered in dirt, like, it was crazy. It's, like, so crazy to look back on too because she,
yeah.
like I had a cell phone when I was young too, so, like, she kept tabs on me and everything, but, like, in the horse show world, it's like everyone knows each other, so, like, if she needed to find out where I was, she could just call or text someone and be like, "Is Katie with you?"
Hmm.
But yeah, that was, like I grew up riding, I was homeschooled for a year because we traveled so much for, like, the competitive showing and stuff. But it was cool, like, the way I grew up in it, it was different because it was, like, I did a lot of catch riding. I didn't have my first pony until I was a little bit older, so it was cool. I definitely learned a lot of character development because I we didn't have the finances to put into it like other people did, so, like,
Hmm.
the trainer that I solely worked with that kinda sent me to other barns, like, I was riding, like, the bad ones. I was getting the ones that were trying to buck you off and, like, I learned a lot very young on, like, how to, like, ride and ride well, and that, like, really helped me bloom. And then I ended up getting into, like, good barns with good horses and, like, catch riding, so they were paying for me to show. Like, I did never like, the
Insane.
horses or ponies, like, they owned, they would pay for, I would travel with them, I'd show up, ride, help and I always, like, helped with stuff too, because like, my mom was a groom, so I would help the grooms at the other places too, just because like, that's how she raised me. She was like,
Hmm.
gonna rock up and get on and get off and leave. She's like, "You're gonna
Hmm.
help." So, I definitely a little side note, like, I love that she was like that with me because like, my work ethic now, I feel like is really, like, based with how my mom and my dad too, like, my dad's a really hard worker as well, but my parents are split, so, like, was with my mom majority
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
but yeah, she definitely, she pushed me, but it was definitely worth it. So, that's where I kinda started, and then we sold the pony that I had. So, we were in Florida, lived in South Carolina for a little bit, and was there, and we'd actually, like, travel to and from South Carolina for that big show, and then we moved up here in 2010, and I was still riding and showing a little bit. Once we left Florida, I kinda got out of, like, the really competitive side of it because most of, like, the big shows are down there. So we came up here, and then I started public school. Fucking awful. I hated it.
Big difference. Big
I
difference.
hated it! But yeah, I kept riding, and then once I think I was, like, a sophomore in high school when we sold the pony that I had. So when I started high school, my mom was like, "All right, like, if you're gonna play sports, you're gonna play sports, and, like, we're not gonna really do the horses anymore." So I, like, had to kind of make that decision.
Hmm.
And I did play a little bit I played soccer and tennis a little bit growing up, just kinda, like, as something else to do to keep me busy, I guess. So, like, my freshman year of high school, I played soccer, I ran indoor track, and I what did I do? And then I did outdoor track. But at that point, like, the horse that I had, we, like, leased her out, so she was, like, with someone else for the time being. Then when she came back, we ended up selling her, like, a few months later. So that was, like, my freshman year into sophomore year. But through high school, I literally wanted to play every single sport. Like, I didn't actually stick with the sport until my junior year. Like, I did soccer, indoor track, outdoor track my freshman year. I did cross country, basketball, and tennis my sophomore year. And then I went back to soccer and did I think I tried out for basketball this year, and then I was like, "I just hate this sport."
That's insane. You definitely try to do it all.
Yeah, and then I played tennis again. So soccer and tennis are, like, my 2 main sports, and then my senior year, I did those 2, but I did winter cheerleading that year too, because one of my
Yeah,
best friends cheered, like, all through high school, and she was like, "Just do it, you have nothing to lose," and it was cool, like, it was something different.
definitely did a lot of shit, girl. Sheesh.
But yeah, so senior year, I was really, like, in between soccer and tennis for college, and then it's harder with tennis because it's an individual sport to really get looked at and, like, get taken on, so I ended up going the soccer route, got a scholarship to go to Cecil because I didn't know what I wanted to do for school at that point, so I went there I think I ended up there for 3 years, and I transferred to Wesley and continued playing soccer there for 2, and then that was the end of my soccer career. Yeah, but it's funny because I still played, like, adult league after I graduated, which is how I met Zoe. Because Zoe and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
we played on the same team, which was really fun, but then I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I was
That's
playing with,
so
like,
crazy.
grown-ass men. I was, like, just getting wrecked for no
Yeah,
reason by, like, 40-year-old men, and
not
I was
worth it.
like, "I have too much to lose, like, I'm not tearing my ACL playing rec league soccer when I made it through my whole life without doing that."
Yeah, no shot, brother.
So
No shot.
yeah. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Definitely, like, I loved playing in college. Like, it was trying. Like, especially those 2 years at Wesley, like, we had 32 girls on our team, so it was competitive.
But yeah, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of
It was
people
a
right
lot
there.
of people, and I ended up getting in typical Katie fashion, I was trying too hard, and I ended up tearing my quad
Fuck your
because
shit
I would
up.
be like, get out of class, go to the field, then practice, then after practice, I would stay on the field for an hour, and it was just like I remember my athletic trainer, love you, Becca, God bless, she was like, "If I see you on that field, you're you're done." She was like, "I'm not messing around with you anymore." She was
That's
not
fucking
having it.
hilarious.
Yeah. So, that was kind of the end of my first year there, and then our second year was COVID, so
Mhm.
we just, like, did scrimmages, but it was still fun. It was a good experience.
Big soccer girl. Big soccer girl.
Louis! Sorry.
No, you're good. So talk about now the injury that a lot of people probably don't know about and just go through that whole process and just kind of explain the story of that.
Yeah, so when was I can't even, like, think of the year. I think that was 2022, July. So I'll preface this when I graduated from Wesley and stopped playing soccer, I actually got back into riding again. And then the barn that my mom was working at, they had a horse that they brought over from Europe, and they're like, "We don't know if he's, like, a good fit for our daughters. Like, if you" like, say talking to my mom, like, "If you and Katie wanna, like, do stuff with him, ride, show, whatever, like, have at it," kinda thing, which was really cool because it's like, I have this horse now and, like, I'm responsible for taking care of him, but, like, I don't have to, like, they were really generous and, like, paid for, like, him to stay there, like, at their place, and, like, I just had to pay for, like, my showing and, like, the stuff I needed for him, essentially. So it was really cool to kinda, like, jump back into that again. So that would have been May of 2021, and then July of 2022 was when he kicked me in the face. So and it's so weird, like, looking back on that day, because we I literally, like, went to the barn that morning. At the time, he had summer sores on his feet, so, like, he couldn't go out in the field in the morning, so I literally went to the barn to, like, get him out of the stall and just, like, hand graze him, so he was just, like, eating grass, and I was just, like, holding him and letting him do his thing. And then that like, literally everything just got flipped upside down because I was outside with him, and then I'm gonna preface this by saying that horse is like a puppy dog. Like, he almost stepped on like, when I had Louis at the barn one day, he, like, put his foot down on Louis's paw and felt it and immediately picked his foot back up. Like, he would
Mm,
not hurt anybody. He was
mm,
really good. But what we think happened was I was hand grazing him. We think he got bit by a horsefly because he was really sensitive to flies. So he bolted, and when he bolted, I hung on and didn't just, like, let go or, like, move, so that put him in front of me, and then he bucked to get, I guess, like, what we are thinking to get the fly off,
mhm.
and I just caught, like, the tail end just straight in the face. Yeah.
That's
So,
insane.
yeah, it was, like, and I remember the whole thing too. Like, I literally remember him taking off, me trying to hold on and just, like, feeling the impact, and, like, it knocked me over. Yeah, so it, like, knocked me over, and I, like, didn't lose consciousness or anything, I, like, stood up, like, I kinda was, like, hunched over, stood up,
That
and, like, felt
adrenaline.
my face and was just, like, covered in blood, and at that point, there were other people at the barn, like, farther away, and he was actually running towards them, they had horses, so and I just, like, I screamed, like, as loud as I could, I don't even know what I said, but I just started making it was like when you're in a dream and you're trying to scream and you can't.
Mhm.
That's what it felt like, and I don't even know if sound came out. But,
Jeez.
like, that was, like, the moment, and then I remember them being, like, telling me to lay down. I'm sure they could see from there that I was, like, bleeding, but they were, like, screaming at me to lay down. So I got on the ground. They obviously called the ambulance, and, like, everything just, like, took off from there. I literally in my mind was like, "Oh, I'll probably have to, like, go get stitches or something, and then I'll go home." And then next thing I knew, I was in a helicopter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy too, and, like, the craziest part was, like, so there was a horse at the barn, and, like, this part of the story, like, really breaks my heart because, like, there was a horse at the barn that, like, would only let my mom catch him sometimes. So they called my mom, and they're like, "Hey, like, there's an emergency. Can you, like, get over here as soon as possible?" Not telling her that it was me. So, like, she shows up, and I literally, like, just remember it was, like, one of the first times I've ever seen my mom cry. She was, like, just, like, it
In
is
shambles,
so
I bet.
yeah, and meanwhile, I'm on the ground and, like, obviously my teeth are all broken. I'm like, "Mom, my teeth are broken." She's like, "I don't fucking care right now." She's like, "Spit them out."
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So and, like, the crazy thing is, like, my mom's been kicked in the face too. Like, she was, like, picking like, someone's hoof like, a horse's hoof out, and, like, he, like, kicked her, like, right in the mouth. So, like, hers was all, like, dental work,
Mhm.
so she didn't have, like, any breaks or anything. I don't not that I'm aware of, I think it was just her teeth. But it was crazy, like, I feel like in that moment, she was just like, "Boom, let's get like, we gotta get this situated." Because like, I mean, she went through something really similar too.
Mhm.
But yeah, so and mind you, I've never broken a bone at this point, never really been to a hospital, like, I had a pretty clean slate, and then so they took me to the firehouse. I got airlifted down to Maryland Shock Trauma in Baltimore, and ended up being there for 3 days. I had one 7-hour-long surgery, which was crazy. So pretty much, like, when I got there, by the time I remember being in like, I could pretty much remember almost everything. What I don't remember is apparently I told my mom I never wanted to ride horses again. Don't remember that. Continued to ride horses after
That's in yeah.
yeah, they literally spent 3 hours suturing my face the first time, like, when I got there, and then I went in for surgery because I had a blowout fracture of this bone, like my orbital bone, and then I can't remember where exactly it was, but I had another fracture. My nose was, like, bad.
Your shit was
It
fucked.
was, like, over here. Um, so obviously my nose is broken, but then I had, like, breaks in my face too, so I have 5 titanium plates in my face and a bunch of screws and a pretty kick-ass scar.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
So
think a lot of people fucking know that at all.
nope.
Insane. Give some people the context of how big the horse is, how big a horse is, and how big your horse was.
My
Because when you
horse
showed me, I was like, yeah, horses are fucking huge, right? If you ever seen, like, horses are big as fuck. Like, you can see a picture of a horse and be like, yeah, that horse is big. But if you stand by, like, next to an adult horse, those horses are fucking massive.
yeah, and he was He's a big boy.
Massive. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, insane.
He's a big boy too. I think when I stood next to him, he probably was his, like, the wither, so, like, his neck where his neck and his back meet, like, that I would say was probably, like, around a foot taller than me. Yeah.
Yeah, big ass horse. What about weight-wise?
God, 12 to 1,500 pounds would be my guess.
Big ass fucking animal, that's what it is.
He's a big dude. But it is like it didn't change how I felt about him at all. Like and I think the thing too is, like, growing up with horses, like and here's where I went wrong, and, this is where the mindset really came in with this is, like, growing up with horses, you know they're dangerous. They're an animal, they have a mind of their own. It's not like a soccer ball or like a bicycle. It's a living animal that you are, like, responsible for, and that could literally the same way you have a pet dog in your house that could decide to kill you at any moment, so can a horse. You make that decision to do that, to ride, to be around them, and you have to know, like, the risk that comes with it. And it's like, growing up, I had, like, a couple bad fall offs here and there, like, nothing crazy, but it makes you realize it's like your whole life, they prepare you and try to make you as safe as possible around these animals, and all it takes is, like, the slightest
Split
moment.
second.
Like a split second of time. I mean, I would have never guessed that that would have happened, especially with him. He
Mhm.
was, like, literally the day before this and this is, like, a crazy thing too. The day before he was laying down in his stall, I was literally, like, sitting next to him when he was laying down, like, with his head in my lap. Like, it was
Crazy.
just, like, literally I was supposed to go to the beach that it was on a Sunday. I
Yeah,
was supposed to
yeah.
go to the barn and then go to the beach after. Like, it was nuts. But they prepare us for so long, and they always tell you, like, you gotta be on your toes, you gotta expect the unexpected with them, and when you've been around an animal at that point, I'd been with Q for almost I think almost a full year, because he came in August of 21, so yeah, it was July of 22, so almost a year, and you get used to them, you get
Mhm.
comfortable around them, and you get to the point where it's like you don't think about the safety side of it. You're just like, "Oh, this is normal, I'm here with him, and it is what it is." Like, in a perfect world and this was something that my mom really helped me with kinda, like, mentally through the situation. She's like, "We can sit here and we can say, 'Well, you should have done this, you should have done that, you should have done the other.'" But she was like, "It's not gonna change
Can't
anything."
do mhm.
No. So it was like, could I have let go? Yeah. Could I have I don't know. I could have done a lot I could have taken him, maybe put more fly spray on him. I don't know. There was a million things I probably could have done in that situation that would have changed the results, but it
Mhm.
didn't. And that's just like I said, it's just the risk that you take, and, like, I just happened to be in the wrong end of things, I guess, that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, looking back at that, from where you're at and seeing how that injury kinda shaped the trajectory of where you're at, would you go back and, let's say, avoid the injury if possible? Or would you just say, "Fuck it," and continue to live life how things were meant to be?
This question so much because people think I'm crazy when I answer it. I wouldn't change it. I would change it for the sake of my parents because that was a lot of trauma for my parents. And, like, anyone who was there, not just my parents, like, the people who were there and, like, witnessed me, like, the people I would change it for the people around me that had to witness, like, me in pain, me, like, dealing with the healing, who saw me, like, right like, the moments after I got hurt. But for me personally, I wouldn't change it because it made me it for not even me, it, like, forced me to just, like, accept things and to, like there's I don't even know, like, how to explain it. It's like, I remember the best way for me to explain it is the doctors I had in the hospital, this is the coolest thing too. I had all women. I had all women surgeons, all my nurses, like
Different.
everybody.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
loved
yeah.
so empowered. But I had a conversation with Dr. Justice, who was my ENT doctor, and she was like my plastics and like fixed my nose and stuff. She I remember her the last day I ever saw her before she, like, discharged me from her care, so this was, like, months later. She had a daughter who at the time was, like, 2 or 3 years old, and I remember sitting with her, and she was like, "Well, you're good to go, like, unless if you ever need me, let me know." if you get to a point where, like, in life where your scar is really bothering you and, like, you don't wanna see it anymore, like, you literally just call me, we'll make sure it's covered, we'll get you lasered, like, whatever it takes to make sure that you feel confident with yourself. And I might start crying, but I remember saying to her, I was like, "I feel like such a badass." And she was like I remember she looked at me and she was like, "I hope that one day my daughter can have like, if something like this ever happens to her, that she can handle it the way that you've handled this." And, like, I couldn't even, like, take credit for at that point because, like, my parents, like, everyone around me just kept me, like, so uplifted the whole time. And I think that, like, looking back on it, was it a hard time? Yeah. It literally happened in July. I was supposed to start my PTA school in August. I missed my new student
Gee.
orientation. I showed up like, missed the first week of school and showed up with broken teeth, and my scar looked crazy still at that point.
Mhm.
But it was, like, the timing of it wasn't great, but, like, the fact that it happened, like, it brought me closer to my mom. Like, I saw my mom and, like, my mom's always been a great mother, she's been a good parent, like, but, like, the, like, level of mama bear that I saw her in those, like, months, it was like she literally I had just moved out of her house before this happened. She slept on the couch for, like,
Insane.
2 months so I could sleep in her bed while I was, like, healing and stuff. It's like it made me have a lot more appreciation for, like, the people that were in my life, and also, like, at the time, I was, like, working 2 or 3 jobs. I was constantly going, 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 and that, like, really like, I literally couldn't leave I mean, I could leave the house, but I didn't really leave the house for, like, a month after that,
Mhm.
and it made me, like, actually have to sit still and, like, look at things in my life and, like, look at the people I was surrounded by and, like, things like that. It's like, I wouldn't change it because I'm grateful for, like, the outcome of it, essentially. But yeah, it was like I don't know where I was going with the story with my doctor, but I was going somewhere with that and then I got sidetracked. But yeah, I think it like part I think where I was going with that was like a huge part of it is like people are like, "Oh my god, like your face." And I'm like, "Yeah, my face is fine though."
Mhm.
It's not like I used to look at old pictures of myself and be like upset and sad. But now I'm like, no, like they're 2 different versions of the same girl. Like it's not now I have like a cool story to tell. Well, it's not really like cool, but it's like I
Pretty
have
badass. Pretty badass if you ask me.
yeah, it's like I survived this thing and it's like if you look at the scenario, like if I'd turned my head if I'd looked down, I probably would have died because he would have kicked me square in my head or turned to the side. If he like I didn't have a broken jaw. Like if he kicked me in the most perfect place and I feel like it was the universe's way of being like, "Hey, we're gonna fuck you up a little bit, but like you're gonna learn from it because
You can
we're gonna make sure that you're not like actually really messed up." Like and to look back, it's like you look back on situations like that and it's like it gives you so much gratitude to be where you are. Like I, like, realistically, like, I shouldn't be here right now, and I am. Like, I that literally should have killed me, and it didn't even knock me out. So it's very I look at it as, like, a very meaningful it's traumatic, but it's a meaningful event, I think, in my life.
honestly, and I from my motorcycle accident, how you kinda described the entire situation from seeing, like, basically having the people see you go through all that stuff. Bro, you literally said it word for word, like, exactly like how I felt during my injury during that time, and like you said, you probably couldn't have been here right now if things were a little bit different, and same thing for me, right? And it really something like that, a life-changing, traumatic injury experience can really sit you the fuck down and have you take a look at, your life, what you're grateful for, what you have, and how fast that shit can go away, And I think that fuck, it's deep, it's deep.
Yeah.
But so coming from the injury standpoint side of things, what advice would you give to somebody who's struggling mentally to, let's say, get back into their shit, get back into their routine, their life, to where like, what advice would you give to yourself going into school, coming from that injury and or something along the lines?
I think that so, like, for me personally, like, I consider myself lucky because I didn't have to do, like, rehab or PT or anything like that, like, I just had to let my f I had just had to heal, and then I was pretty much fine. So I think that, like, for someone who's gone through an injury, like, similar to you, like, you essentially had to learn how to walk again, like, stuff like that is, like and even in my situation too of, like, I think it was more of, like, a confidence thing with, like, my injury necessarily, but with either cases, like, just take it day by day. Your life is gonna change, but you have to determine whether it's gonna change for the better or whether you're gonna let yourself go downhill and crumble and, like, just live in, like, a pity party for the rest of your life. Like, I was even, like, after all this happening, my parents were both like, "You're gonna go to school and you're gonna kick ass." Like, I had really good support, and it's like, lean into that. Like, if you have people like, you know yourself the best, but the people that you surround yourself with also know you really well too, and, like, in times, like that, when, like, I might have felt low and, like, I couldn't do something, like, my mom and dad were like, "No, you can, and you're going to, and you're gonna go to school, and you're gonna get your degree, and you're gonna go start working because 'cause we're tired of seeing you working in a restaurant and being in school." So it's like, you just have to take it day by day and, like, give yourself grace. Like, you and I have been through things that a lot of people can't relate to,
Mhm.
which, like, makes me happy for them because, like, I wouldn't wish any of that on anyone, but it's like, if you're in a situation where you had, like, a traumatic or a life-changing event happen to you, I think that the most important thing is to let yourself, like, sit down, feel the emotions, be upset about it. That's a like, you don't need to, like, just push it away. If anything, that's worse. Like, sit with yourself, figure things out, and, like, just kinda move day by day from there. Like, it's not gonna if you'd asked me a month after this happened, if I'd wish it never happened, I would've been like, yeah, why
Mhm.
would I want that to happen to me?"
Yep.
But, like, you have to allow yourself to just go through time because time changes everything, like, it can change your mindset, like, you learn and you grow from things, but you have to allow yourself to do that.
Yo, you were just dropping bars, and I just like, oh, holy shit! Like, I just want to say that you were dropping like bars. This is like a really, really good episode, and we're really into this. We're really into
Yeah.
this.
You made me cry.
No, listen, this is a great episode. But yeah, coming from an injury, right? My bike accident and then breaking my other left ankle the year after, almost around the same time frame, which is just insane, right? Everything happens
Crazy.
for a reason, one. But two, coming back from an injury standpoint, whether you're a competitive athlete, whether you're a lifestyle person, whether you're just a fucking average Joe Schmo, take it day by day, just like Katie said, and give yourself grace because these things take time, right? Now, I'm not super young, right? And my body's recovery capabilities aren't the best. Now, if you have a serious injury, and even if it's a small injury, and you can attest to this from the PTA side of things, you want to treat this and you want to make sure you can focus and get to 100%. Now, 100% might take 2 months. It might take 6 months. It might take a fucking year. You might not ever get to 100%. I broke my ankle, last May, and my mobility is still not 100%. And I probably won't have access to certain ranges of motion for the rest of my life. And there's certain things to where, like, I'm probably never going to jump on a trampoline. I'm probably never going to come into 10 feet, 100 feet of a trampoline park went for the rest of my life, you know? So certain things I just won't be able to do. But again, give yourself grace because you have to let your body recover. And these things take time, you know, these things take time. So from the mental standpoint, don't try to rush any type of recovery process. Whether, again, you sprain your ankle or you break your goddamn leg, do not rush the recovery process. Take your time. Whether you're going to PT, listen to your goddamn PT. All right. Do the things that your PT says and or just fucking listen to what you have to do, what the doctor said, whatever. Now, to kind of piggyback off of that, from the PTA side of things, what advice do you give to your clients and patients to help them recover and get past these injuries a little bit faster
So the
from the
one
physical side of things?
Yeah, so one thing And this is another reason why I'm grateful for what I've been through because I can relate to people having to heal from things. So I can kind of take like what I used when I went through that to give to them in a way too. The first thing I tell them to do is to stay the fuck off Google. Stop Googling things because it's not
Self-diagnosing.
you are different than any other person that you're gonna find on Google.
Mhm.
Like, do not no, if you have a question, you can ask me, you can ask our PT. Like, you're not get off the internet. Do not. And I'm just like, I try to be as realistic as I can be with them. Like, I see a lot, especially with like a knee replacement. I've had patients that could run a 5K after like 3 months post-op. I have patients that are over a year in rehab still trying to get their knee flexion back. Like, so it's like I try to be very realistic with them, and they're like, "Well, how long is my knee gonna be swollen for?" Could be at least a year. Like,
Everybody's
that's
different.
just it is what it is, and it's
Yep.
like, we're gonna and I try to, like, give them a realization of, like and, like, kinda confirm things for them of, like, "We're gonna do everything we can here to make sure that you heal and, like, get back to things as quickly as we can, but you also need to be patient with yourself, and you like, same situation, you need to give yourself grace. If you and I always tell them as well, you're gonna get back like, the work that you put in is what you're gonna get back from this.
What a
If you
bar.
come in here twice a week and you're not doing and you're taking that home exercise program I give you and throwing it in the trash when you get home, you're gonna be here for 8 months. Like, you're not like, you need to be stretching at home, doing your activation exercises at home. You need to be, like, hydrate I go into nutrition with them too, like, I'm like, "You need to be eating your protein because that's gonna help you heal." Like, my mom you should have seen the diet my mom had me on when I was healing. She, like oh my gosh, the collagen, the protein, like and that's why, like, my scar isn't really all that noticeable, and I thank her
Mhm.
for that because she had me eating, like, salmon and mind you, I couldn't really eat a lot because of my teeth, but, like, she had me on a soft food diet, but it was a good soft food diet. It wasn't like ice cream and crap. It
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
like,
yeah. Good
fish,
shit.
like, good pasta and, like, stuff like that, but I tell them, I'm like, "You gotta eat your protein, you need to be hydrated." What's another one that I usually tell them to? And I tell them not to baby it. I'm like I mean, obviously, certain scenarios, like, if you tore your ACL and you're a week or 2 post-op, please baby it. Like, do not go trying to walk and run, but, like,
Yeah. Fuck your
especially
shit
with
up.
my, like, and it's hard too because a lot of like, if you have someone that got a hip replacement, they've never been, like, an active person or, like, played sports stuff, they don't understand, like, I always say motion is lotion, movement is medicine, like, if you the more you move, the better you will feel in the long run. And we also say what's the other thing that me and Connor always say it? Something about soreness. Essentially along the lines of, like, the more you do, the more sore you're gonna be kinda thing. So it's like, I also try and help them find that balance of, like, do not sit around all day at home. Please do something, but don't do so much that you're gonna, like, not you're gonna be down for the count for the next 3 days. So, like, it's just trying to help more so, like, pointing them in the right direction and trying to help them find that balance of, like, keeping them uplifted mentally and also trying to get them back physically. And, like, that's the thing too is, like, I give myself a pat on the back because, like, one of my, like, biggest priorities when I'm with my patients is making sure they like, I tell them, "Hey, you're doing a really good job. That looks really good." Like, you need a lot of people and, like, I hear this from a lot of my patients. They're like, "Oh, I went to this place and, like, they just throw us on the bike and then expect us to do everything by ourselves." It's like, okay, then you wonder why no one wants to go to PT.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, if you have someone in your corner that's helping you get better physically, but is also uplifting you mentally and, like, helping carry you along and I also talk to, like, spouses
Another
and stuff
bar.
too. I'm like, "Hey, you need to, like, be there for them." Like, not that I haven't really had to have that conversation. I've more so had to have that conversation of, "Hey, you need to stop babying them." But, like,
Mhm.
um, but just, like, educating the family too of, like, "Hey, this is what we need them to do. If you can just hold them accountable, like, while you're at home," kinda thing. So it's like, it is a pretty even mix of a lot of things, especially because I only see them, like, 1 to 3 times a week. I'm not with them all the time.
Yeah.
So, I think the biggest I know I just, like, yapped my ass off, but,
No,
like,
you're good.
the
You're good.
biggest thing would be, like, in the time that I do have with them, being, like, real and honest about anything like time frames, how things are looking, things of that nature. Making sure they're staying on top of their home program and making sure that they feel supported even in that small amount of time that they're there. So it's like which is the same thing, like, when I look at my scenario going back, it's like I was supported. I had my mom keeping me accountable, and, like, I take what I had in that moment and try to give that to my patients, essentially. Yeah.
From my injury, when my PT gave me my shit and I would see him once or twice a week, shout out Brian, he would literally give me everything I had to do. Now it was an extensive list of exercise and mobility stuff that I had to do morning, afternoon, and night. Now, I was very, very, very consistent with this, and everybody was so shocked with how fast I recovered from the bike accident because I was probably back into the gym, not back into like training myself, but I was back into like walking in a boot and like training people probably like within 10 weeks. And like I was pretty fucked up from the bike accident. So I'll say that me giving 100%, exactly what you said, you're going to get what you put into this, right? Same thing with health and fitness, right? If you give 100%, you're going to get 100%. I tell all new clients, you want to see results, you got to give me 100%. You want to see some type of results? All right, you can half-ass, you could give 50%, 40%, but just be okay with the results that you're going to get. Because if you half-ass this, you're going to half-ass your results. You know, same thing with the recovery side of things. And it's crazy how a lot of this stuff ties in together, right? To where focusing on your nutrition helps with recovery, right? Helps build things up to where it makes you stronger, feel better. All right, when you're focused on your protein, you're going to build muscle. You're going to fucking get stronger, make progress, and look better. So it's like a lot of these factors, they all tie in together from the recovery process and the progressive process of improving yourself. So a lot of these things are, I feel like a lot of the answers we give are just simple. Focus on your health, fitness, and staying fucking healthy, you know, as best as you can.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. This episode is actually going to be broken up into two parts. So the first part, which you have already listened to, is basically me introducing Katie onto the podcast and going over her story, her background, and exactly who she is. On the second half of the episode, we talk about the start of me and her working together, her prep and its entirety, and we finish answering the rest of the questions that you guys asked us on our stories. So make sure you guys tap in, tune into the next episode that is going to be dropping on Sunday at 1 p.m. So make sure you turn on the post notifications so you can get the update when it's live and you can finish off this episode. With that being said, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your night, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.